Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode on the Glory Reds FC with your hosts, Benito and Dee. What's good, Pastor D?
Yeah, man, all is well. It's just it's crazy hot today, man. It's really hot here in the UK. I don't know how the weather is that side, man.
Bruh, you are in the UK and you're complaining
Yeah.
about the heat. I am in Tanzania, my guy. Like, the heat is leaning on us, man.
Yeah.
I can
man,
only imagine what you are going through.
Man.
I mean,
I can't even lie to you. I thought this is what I was running away from, and just to come and find it, it's mind blowing. I'm like, wow. I just never thought Europe gets as hot as Africa. I'm like, wait a minute. You wake up
soon.
thinking, yeah.
But soon the weather will change, no?
Yeah. Like in a couple of months, we'll be jumping into winter. But for now,
Couple of months. It's still the summer.
Yeah, man. It's what is it now? I think autumn. I think something like that. But yeah, we're still gonna be having this type of heat, for a while. And the funny thing is, this heat wave was actually predicted to come like a month ago. Like a month ago, there was this heat wave that was going through Europe, and weather reports were like, brace yourself, this heat wave is gonna begin in a week, yada yada yada. This heat wave wasn't coming, fam. It was just cold, rainy.
And you guys thought,
fam, we thought this thing is by pastas. You know what I mean? That's what special. This heat wave is just for Spain. It's just for Portugal. It's not for us. You know what I mean?
And then,
bruh, like literally overnight, you're just waking up expecting that usual cool and calming weather, and then you're just feeling this, bam, you're sweating, dripping. And you're just so confused because you're like, nah, like when you're like, when something is different and you just can't put your finger on it, because you're just so used to like something, but it's so obvious. That's how it was, You wake up going about it, like, nah, man, what is it? There's something different about today, and you're just out here sweating. You can't put your finger on it because you're not used to it. And then you're like, oh my God, it's hot. What's up? It's hot.
I think your mind took time adjusting or realizing that it's in the UK because you assumed that it would be cold that side. So you think, nah, this heat is not it's from Africa. What is it doing here?
What are you doing here?
What are you doing here? I ran from you.
Damn. And then it clicks that, oh snap, it's hot. It's like, wow. And it's so stupid because you're like, how could I be so ignorant? Why did I think that it can't get hot here? That's such an ignorant thing to think, regardless of like, it's dumb because like you would think, okay, Africa is the only continent that gets hot. Like there are like different places that get way hotter than Africa, like Australia, Dubai, India, even China. You know what I mean? So why wouldn't it get hot here? But then it gets hot, and then you're just like, shell shocked. It's the media, fam. When us from home, we always see snow and all this nonsense, and we think, oh, look at these guys having a good time. And you know how it is in the media. The British people always complaining about the crap weather and the rain and the clouds. Yeah. And that's what you expect. You just think that when you get here, it's going to be like that all the damn time, And then you just get the hot days like this, and you're like, come on.
Speaking of heat, my guy.
Yeah.
Our club is in all sorts of heat as well, man. United. United is in all sorts of heat, man. Like
United is going through its own heat wave.
Bro.
Literally going through its own heat
wave. Like I don't even like if I was a United player, like I would have been sizzled by now with the heat. Like I would have been burnt. Like I would be charcoal. Man. What's going on? What's going on?
It's just one after the other. Like you wake up expecting to hear something good. You wake up expecting to hear resolve from the last story you heard, just to find the stuff just keeps piling on, and you're just like, when can I catch a breath? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just been a roller coaster of, and mind you, this roller coaster didn't even start off this weekend. No, 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 no. This roller coaster started off preseason. You know what I mean? This thing has been making its way to the top, fam. And then this weekend is when it started its descent. And it's like, yeah, I think I'm high enough. I
I'm
think
touching.
I'm at the optimum height. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? To
I
come
just brought
thundering
myself.
down.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, like, these guys are not ready. They're not ready, you know. And then this weekend, it just came down full force, man.
Bro,
Full force.
let's jump into the hottest topic right now, which is
Yeah,
Anthony. I mean, we're not gonna dive so much into it and
yeah, of
say
course.
all kinds of things that are out of line or whatever. But man,
Yeah,
the reports that are coming out there, man, what's
yeah,
going on? Is there conspiracy happening, bro? Like, what's going on?
man. And you know the funny thing is, like, and I know we're talking about the Anthony thing, but you know it's so funny how they were making a comparison of, you know, the Anthony situation being similar to the Greenwood situation, and
Mm-hmm.
the Sancho situation being similar to the Ronaldo situation.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
that's what makes you think that is there some sort of conspiracy theory, you know what I mean, happening
bro.
out there, because this is just way too much of a coincidence for it to be happening, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
And with the Anthony thing, like you said, we're not gonna give our opinions. We don't know what happened. We were not there. You know, we're just here to just, you know, report on what the reporters are reporting on. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah,
We're just
yeah.
here to give you
That's true.
guys the news. You know, in case you haven't heard, you know, we're here to just catch you up and keep you up to date. So,
Okay.
but yeah, man, it's yeah.
Let's run it back. So
All right.
the one that's very interesting, the one that actually caught my eye, and I believe it also like
Okay.
got you, was this story of the medics at United
Yeah.
having some sort of information or having known what is
Some
going on,
involvement.
some involvement. Like,
Yeah.
can we clarify that for our listeners, for those that don't even understand what's going on, those that are just seeing news and they don't know how to interpret the football jargon.
Yeah.
This is where
Yeah.
we come in. So D, just lay down to them just in layman's terms of what's currently
Yeah.
going on right now.
Yeah, but again, this is just hearsay stuff. The way it
Yeah,
seems
yeah,
like it's just
yeah,
hearsay
yeah.
stuff.
Absolutely.
That when that incident happened in Manchester, because remember there have been several incidents, and not all incidences took place in Manchester. There was only that one incident, you know,
Mm-hmm.
where Anthony, you know, went all squirrel and head butted. And this is not even, I don't even know why I'm making a joke of this. Apologies. But it's not funny, to be fair. But he went and head butted her, right? And that incident happened in Manchester. And then, of course, the other incidents happened, you know, in Sao Paulo, and, you know, I can't remember where the other one happened.
Mm.
Yeah, but basically, there's some claims out there that when said incident happened in Manchester, that the Manchester medical team are the ones that, I don't know, like, I'm just paraphrasing over here, right?
Yeah.
They sort of like assisted to like attend to the wounds or whatever happened, right?
Mm.
So those are the claims that have been put out there. And again, say, you know, I think Manchester have come out and denied to say no, we're not part of any, you know. And obviously, because the thing is, even if they were, no one's gonna come out and, you know what I mean? Because this is literally mafia behavior, and which mafia is
Yeah.
going to come and say, oh yeah, you know what I mean,
We
admit
did
to
this.
something
Yeah,
that,
yeah, yeah.
you know what I mean? But obviously, they didn't do it, but we're just saying, like, it just smells like mafia behavior. And we're not saying that United are mafia, but
Man, our club, you never know with our club, bro. Like our
I
club,
mean,
ah,
you
you
call a
sit
spade
here
a
and
spade.
wonder
It is
like
what it is.
certain things that happen, and you're like, what? Wait, nah. Who's running the show? Like, can you tell
Exactly.
us who's doing what? Like, what's
I
going
think
on?
like it has literally got to a stage where it's just become too sloppy. You know,
Mm,
I think right now there's just like way too much damage control that they need to do, that they end up losing track of which damage control that they're currently involved with. You
mm,
know, and then I think things like spill over to next man,
Yeah.
and forgetting that, oh, this is actually that other person's drama. You understand what I
Mm.
mean? So you
Yeah.
find out
Yeah.
that these stories that Scott McTominay is injured, you'll find that was actually the PR report for like Lindelof, and then the administration, because they're so busy, you know what I mean, put Scott McTominay's name instead of Lindelof's name. Eric wakes up in the morning, he sees the PR report that he's supposed to read, and sees Scott McTominay is injured. Auntie boy is there training for Scotland. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, man, I think there's just a lot on their plate, and yeah, it's man, the
But
the
bro,
the, the cup is full. The cup
mm,
is full, and everything is just spilling over.
mm. I've been thinking about the situation, and I don't know. I can't help but feel that Anthony's actions are sort of going to be, I don't know, connected with Eric Ten Hag, like our manager, like because he's the manager's player. So I don't
Okay.
know. Like I've been sitting here and trying to figure out like what these allegations, especially because we've just dealt with Mason Greenwood. Now we're dealing with
Yeah.
Anthony. Like, what does this do to the reputation of our club? Like, what's going to happen? Like, I get that these, like, we are surrounded with these issues right now.
Yeah.
What does it do to the brand, or what does it do to the club alone? Like, does it make us look bad with the way the PR team are dealing with situations, or does it look
Yeah.
bad on the CEO or the football director, or does it ultimately go back to the Glazers? Because when I look at everything that happens at United, I feel like the
Yeah.
Glazers, they're
Yeah.
just these niggas, they're just these guys that are sitting in the clouds.
Yeah.
Like, they literally do not say anything, don't do anything. They just
Yeah.
want that evaporation, like they want to
Yeah.
collect all the air so that they can rain on themselves. Like you know what I mean? Like, they're
Yeah.
just chilling, doing
Nah, I
nothing.
get. I got you.
Yeah. And if
Yeah.
that's the case, like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Because it means that our club is not being run properly. It means that these guys are
No.
like, bro, like it's very concerning, because one of the things that I'm worried about is the
Yeah.
reputation of the manager going to shit. Because with everything that's going on, man, you don't expect a new manager to be handling or going through what he is going through right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's going to make decisions based on the situation, and those decisions are going to affect the fans or whoever is going to see what's happening in whatever way. You know what I mean? Like, how what do you think needs to be done, man, to keep this thing calm? Like, do you think the Glazers selling the club would bring some sort of, okay, at least the Glazers are gone, we've got a new guy coming in, he's going to come and change the infrastructure, change everything from head to bottom, change everything, put in money? Or it's just gonna be one of those things where we're just gonna stick with the Glazers, keep on looking the other way for certain things, and just letting things be, and then hope that Eric Ten Hag, being the manager that he is, that he will cook up something and try and keep us
Yeah.
afloat. Like, what are your thoughts on
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, man. Now I hear you, and I think it's time up for the Glazers, and I don't even think that's even up to them anymore, because the mess up has been so huge
Yeah,
that even the value has tanked, so hard on the stock market, and it's worth less than it was at the time when they should have already sold the club.
yeah.
So it is down to poor management, and it is down to you know ultimately the Glazers. But as much as it's very easy to like put all the blame on the Glazers, you
Mm,
know,
mm.
man, like yes, majority of the blame goes to them, but some of these things you can't really like tie it back to the Glazers. And I know I
No,
don't know if you understand what I mean. Like it's not
I
like I'm trying
do.
to protect the
I
Glazers,
do.
but at
That's
the
why I
same time,
put
it's
them
like
in a cloud.
yes, it's
Yeah,
not the Glazers who said Anthony go do whatever, Greenwood
yeah,
go do whatever, Sancho go post this. Those are individual actions, but those individual actions should have never occurred if there was correct management and system. So that's obviously an oversight from the Glazers. So yes, in turn, it's not their fault, but at the same time, ultimately, it is their fault.
Yeah.
But it's just like, yeah, man, like some things you just have to isolate them, because otherwise, like, it's just always gonna. We know ultimately it's the Glazers' fault, But at the end of the day, from from a level where it can be controlled, why are we not taking it? Why are we not taking control of it at that level? Like they
Yeah.
say in life, there's certain things that are out of control that you can't control. The things that you can control, deal with that. You understand what I mean? So I'm pretty sure there's things at the club that Eric Ten Hag can
Yeah.
deal with, and that he should focus on, right? And then whatever else he can't deal with, that's just unfortunate until the club gets sold, right? And even when the club does
Yeah.
get sold, it's not going to be an overnight thing. Rome wasn't built overnight, like the people like to say. And you can also relate it back to politics of when presidencies are changed. You don't see change in a country over a span of a year or two, whatever. It takes time. That's why
Yeah.
they usually give presidents 2 terms, which is 8 years.
Mm.
So same thing in football. Not comparing it to a country, but
Yeah, I
Old,
understand. I get you.
Old Trafford, I mean, even when you're saying Old Trafford used to be renovated, it can't be done during the season. There's football being played. So it has to happen during the off season, right?
Yeah.
And there's also now thought of it completely getting demolished and rebuilding one. Because we've seen teams like Spurs and Chelsea and whatever, when they've had to go through all these big renovations and they've had to like use sister
Move.
clubs or
Mm.
you understand what I'm saying, until that
Yeah.
project is complete, right? And
Yeah.
even after that's all complete, there's still a whole chain of management that needs to be, shuffled around or, kicked out the club. They bring in new management, and all that's gonna take time. Even in business, you don't always get the first CEO or CFO right, or the first bunch of employees. It takes trial and error. You'll probably get through 5, 6 to 8, CFOs before you find the right one who can actually do the project that you're put out to do. So it would be a great start, obviously getting the club sold, but it will still take time for the club to get back to the level of management that we expect it to be at. So at
Yeah.
this moment in time, we just have to sort of control what we can control, and that's why every time on these podcast episodes, we always talk to our community, talk to the fans, and say, look, get behind the manager, get behind the manager. Those are the things that we can control. You understand what I mean? Don't go and throw the players. Give
Yeah.
them the support to give them back their confidence. That's what we can do in our control. That's something that the Glazers cannot take away from us. You understand what I mean? So
Yeah.
that's where we need to be focusing our energy on until the right thing happens at the club when it gets sold. Then we can now start seeing that greater change taking effect. Bye-bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's Pastor D with the sermon today.
Hey, this is Pastor G thing. I have a feeling it's gonna
Martina.
catch on.
Martina D. Ah man, you. I like it when you go on these rants, but like it looks.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen a pastor when the Holy Spirit is in him?
Is
He
it?
can't stop. Things are just flowing. That's how you get, my man. Hey, I
Oh
love
my
it.
god.
Love it. Love it. No, but I hear
Oh
you.
man.
I hear you. I hear
Yeah.
you. We can't really blame everything on the Glazers, because these
True.
are individuals and we need to isolate them, We really need to.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
now here's my concern. I have another concern
All right.
because it seems like our right wing, which we've been having issues with for years. Remember,
Yeah.
we've always wanted a right wing. Here comes Ole, brings us a nice winger from Borussia Dortmund in the shape of Jadon Sancho. We are excited. We bring him in. He comes into the club, doesn't even get into the starting lineup, doesn't even play that right wing that we wanted him to play. Then we still have that issue with the right wing because even that season when he came, he was changing with Rashi. Rashi sometimes was on the right, he was on the left. Martial,
Yeah.
those switching and changing. So he never really cemented his position as the player
Yeah.
that we bought him to be. Fine.
100%.
Eric Ten Hag comes in and he's like, oh, okay. I've noticed that there's been some sort of issue in the right wing. There's a right winger, but he was like, nah, this right winger that you guys brought in is not playing right wing. So let me bring in my right wing. So he brings his inverted right wing in the form of Anthony. He comes in there. He's doing his thing. Debut, scores against Arsenal. Beautiful goal. We are thinking, oh my God, it's going to be lit. We've got a player here. He does his business. Now, like everything looked good then. Now we're in a situation where both our wingers, the latest wingers that we brought into the club, there's a question mark. There's a doubt on them because there are some stories about Sancho might heading to Saudi Arabia. I think that might not happen, but those stories are there. Sancho hasn't removed his post, meaning he's adamant and he's steadfast and he's sticking to what he says. And you know what? To a certain extent, by him sticking to his guns, like I'm somebody that I hate to be wrongfully accused for something. That's just my nature. Like I shut down when you wrongfully accuse me, and especially if I know I didn't do it. And I will always stick to my guns. I will never sell out. So in a weird way, like even though he did what he did as being disrespectful, and I called him out for it because I am still, he should be punished, whatever. But there seems to be some sort of conviction in what he's doing because it's like, no, man, listen, I have been training well. Like, I don't care what you guys are saying out there. I have been doing my part. And I'm not even going to budge for that. I'm not budging for anyone. I'm not budging for the manager. I'm not budging for this badge. None of that. I'm sticking to myself, my integrity. I am the scapegoat. I am not taking it down. You guys can think what you want. It's up to you. But at the end of the day, you guys will find out what's going on. So we're in that situation now. We have lost our two wingers. We've got one kid, another winger who is a youngster, injured. And then we have got another winger who everybody's excited about, but we are not sure if he's ever going to get the game time that he deserves. So, my guy, what are your thoughts on that, man?
Man, you know, that one, it's a difficult one because, you know, Sancho, I think a lot of people understand where his frustrations are coming from, you know. But in that same breath, and we mentioned this before, like if he had just waited 24 hours, you know, and if he had just said, let me sleep on this, let me sleep on this, you know, I'll pull that trigger finger tomorrow, you know, and he would have woken up to the best news of his life, you know. But then again, here's the thing, right? Because with Jadon Sancho, he's not the only player who has been faced with this thing of I haven't been getting game time, right? And that I need to be starting more games and being given an opportunity. Fair enough, some players have been given that opportunity and some players haven't been given that opportunity. But I think the times when Sancho did come in and get his opportunity, you know, or, you know, in all fairness, it wasn't on the right wing. I just don't think he pulled the numbers that were expecting him to pull or deliver on what he's supposed to deliver. Because if he did, it would have been a different story. So obviously, a lot of people are giving examples of Wan-Bissaka. Wan-Bissaka benched, put his head down, said, let me wait for my opportunity. Not that he was hoping for Dalot to get injured. Dalot gets injured. He comes and he proves why he needs to be a starter in that left back position. You understand what I mean? Without a doubt. So you're either going to be the player who's going to come and prove a manager wrong when an opportunity arises, or you're just going to come in there and just leave us with more question marks of, you know what I mean? Like, do we really, because you have been given time, you know, and I know it's sort of contradictory to what I said the last time when I said it's just been 2 seasons. But I mean, again, here's another example. Harry Maguire, you know, he's been saying he's been wanting to fight for his spot. When he gets an opportunity to fight for his spot,
he doesn't do jack. Like,
you understand what I'm saying?
Like,
so the only player who has really just proven himself to be back in that first starting 11 is Wan-Bissaka. And if anything, everybody should take a page out of his textbook and say, let me shut up. You know what I mean? And if I know that I'm doing everything in training, in whatever, it should translate when they go on the pitch. Because Wan-Bissaka, it was instant. He came back and was like, who is this new Bissaka? You know? But then with everybody else, it's sort of like the same thing. And maybe a little bit here and there, but not enough for like, you know what I mean? You need to be back in the team. It's been that thing of, you see why you're on the bench. You know what I mean? Here's your opportunity, and you're not showing us what you've been preaching out there that I'm ready. I've been training. Show us. You know, where is it? You know what I mean? Here's your opportunity. Here's your break. And you haven't been able to do it. Look at Ilanga. He's gone to Nottingham and he's showing why he should have been in the first team. You understand what I mean? On day one, assist. He doesn't start. He doesn't start. He comes again for Arsenal. Go. You understand what I mean? That is, I deserve to have been starting in the first team. So, and if you're not gonna come and do what you're supposed to do, then honestly, you've got no one else to blame but yourself. And it's harsh, but it's the unfortunate truth. If you want to be in that starting 11, then obviously Ten Hag is expecting a certain level of performance. And if he can't see it, and you go out there, you make us see what he's seeing in training, then you know what I mean? Who's to blame now? Who are you going to point fingers at? You see? So if anything, Ten Hag can actually work in Ten Hag's favor if Ten Hag wants to be petty. He can be like, it's fine. Here's your opportunity now. You know what I mean? There's doubts around Anthony. You're there with your trigger finger on Twitter saying, hey, me have been performing, hey, sharp. Go and show us, hey. Go and show. You know what I mean? Go and back up your statement. Ben, it's so funny that you even find the club. You even find the club is like, no. Leave the statement. Leave it up. When we get back from international break, go and back up that statement.
One time.
Go and back it up. You're not taking it down. You are not taking it down. Go and back up that statement. Here's your opportunity. You know what I mean? Go and back it up. So, man, things just happen in a weird way. You know what I mean? And like we said before we jumped on the podcast, like, we're all just speculating. We don't actually know what's going on. So it'll just be funny that, this is another theory out there that could be likely. And it's like, we'll give you your opportunity. Here's your perfect chance now to go and show us, But one more thing, because I see you want to jump on something else. I just want to mention one more thing.
A little thing.
All right, go ahead. Okay, go ahead, and then
based on what you were talking about, because you used a good example on Wan-Bissaka, and in my mind I laughed because I was like, he could have used Rashford because Rashford had that Renaissance thing, but it's different because Rashford has reverted back to his nonsense. So it's not like there's some sort of progression. But then Wan-Bissaka, it is at the perfect, because we were about to sell this guy.
Yes.
He was gone.
He was on the brink of being sold. I honestly thought Bissaka was gone. Last season, I'm like, it's late for boy. January is gone. Benito.
I was like, man, it is what it is. Like, I was like, nothing we can do. Like, I couldn't even fight it because it made sense. Then Spider just comes in there and just builds his cobweb there and done. Done.
Sorted. My guy.
Man. I hear you.
Yeah, man. But, like what I wanted to say was, it's just so funny that, I don't know, and this is as far back as I can remember, right?
Yeah.
Probably since, maybe I can say Beckham, maybe Valencia. I think those have probably been our last consistent
wingers,
number sevens. You know what I mean? More specifically, that in that number 7 position, because we've had Overton, we've had Lingard, we've had who's this other one? The Adnan Januzaj. Chongi. The list goes on. It's like that number 7 position is cursed. You know what I mean? It's like as soon as you assume that position, your greatness is just going to like deplete. It'll start high and just like go down. Like, and even in that sense, like after Valencia, I can't remember like a proper out and out winger. Up until probably now Pelestri, who runs down the byline, cuts into the box and tries to put a ball in. You know what I mean? Pelestri is probably the last. He's probably the latest player from Valencia that we've had in that position. So I don't know if it's because of the style in which the manager wants to play that it doesn't really favor that number 7 position, but the formation sort of demands for it to be there. And it feels very detached. Like we've never had that same like flow, that same chemistry, like how Rashford and Luke Shaw have it on the left hand side. You know what I mean? We've never really had that nice dual partnership of of that on the right hand side. And it's just
Bruh,
like
there's one winger we forgot, bro, and it's blasphemy that we forgot his name.
Yeah.
Nani.
Yes, Nani, yes. He was the last best
That was
number 7. You know
One
what I mean?
time.
The last best number 7 United have ever had. Period. You know, after that, Nick Sololo. Fam. Man.
Nani
Yeah,
used
no,
to
Nani.
do it for us.
Yeah, Nani's numbers are shocking. Like, sometimes I think people forget how good Nani was until you actually go and check his record, and you're like, whoa.
And you know what?
Because
only United fans would know how good he was.
Exactly.
I swear.
Like, because he was so good. He was literally like dubbed the Ronaldo success at United.
Yes, and
he was literally the next Ronaldo
very
United.
well. He handled the mantle very well. Yeah,
he did. We're like, okay, Ronaldo's gone, but we've got Nani. We've got Nani holding it down. You know what I mean? So, oh man, but yeah, I don't know what it is now because, like you said, we're very unsure about Anthony's situation. Sancho, we don't know what's happening until some news report drops, and now we're just crossing our fingers that Pelestri gets the go ahead and that he's the player that's gonna start. But again, it brings us back to that question of you're now been given your chance. So give me your thoughts before I give mine. Like, what do you think that Pelestri is gonna rise to the occasion?
I do. I do have a problem with him starting. And I know this might surprise people because they'll be like, Ben, what are you talking about? Because you've always wanted him to start. Nah, I get it.
Yeah.
He does more damage when he comes off the bench.
Okay.
For me, based on what I have seen, I mean, when he plays for Uruguay and then sometimes when he starts the game, he's good. There was one game that he started and I think he provided 2 assists and then he scored the last goal. Something like that. He played the whole match, that one. That one, I get it. But then at United, because of everything that's going on, and with the way we play, he looks like even Garnacho. Garnacho, those 2 kids are like super subs. Like they are literally super subs. But you can't start them. The only problem is that when you start them and then they don't offer what they offer coming off the bench, immediately people look down and then they're like, nah, they're not good enough to start. Then it's like push them back down the pecking order, which is not true. You know what I mean? But I honestly think if Facundo is given his opportunity, I think he's going to raise a few eyebrows and people are going to be like, whoa, what's going on? But what I wanted to add when you were talking about the number 7 position, I couldn't help but think that that number 7 position in United is cursed like the number 9 position at Chelsea. Like we can't seem to get that right wing right. Like for years. For years. This is not a joke. This is not a myth. Like this is serious. Like we haven't had a number 7 or somebody playing in the right wing that has been consistent with putting in assists, crosses, and your occasional goals. Doing like Nani. Like we've not had a Nani in a while, bro. A while. And I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know if we need to start looking into getting in a new right winger. And if so, are we going to go back and are we going to get an inverted, or are we going to get a left-footed right winger, or are we going to get a right-footed right winger? What are we going to do? Because either way, the way our manager plays, he likes to have some sort of balance. I get that because at the back he wants to have left-footed center back playing left-footed center back and left foot and left wing and right like that. But then in the wings, he doesn't mind the inverted because he has got Ashi and he's got Anthony. So, okay, Gaffer, like explain to us, like, are we going to get a right-footed right winger? Are we going back to what seems to not work? Because these inverted wingers, I'm sorry, at United, they're not doing the business unless otherwise. Like unless Rashi has a worldie. But then this inverted is not working because we're not putting in those boxes, those balls. And on top of that, We now have a target man in Rasmus Højlund.
Yeah.
Like, man, I don't want to see that thing where they get to the byline, they cut in and they want to give somebody back so you can put it in a cross. Put the cross in because the guy's already made the run.
Yeah.
You know? Trust your guy. So I don't know, man. I don't know. Me, at the moment, I'm just like all over the place when it comes to United. But the only calm I have, and I encourage, I don't know. I feel like I'm the only one that feels this way, man. The way I trust Eric, our gaffer. Man. I am calm. Like, I look at him. He's bold. I'm bold. You know, we share the same hairstyle. He's got a young beard. Like, man, he's the only guy that's giving me some sort of peace. Because when I think about if we do decide to sack him, or if we do decide to let him go, who are we bringing in? Which other manager out there is going to come and deal with this mess at United? Like, who? Who? Graham Potter? No chance. No chance. Oh, what? No chance. Eddie Howe. No fucking chance. Bro, United needs an elite manager. Nothing else. Nothing less. It needs an elite manager. No mediocre stuff. So, man, those are the things that worry me. And I would just encourage the fans to just be behind the manager. I know to some of you, he doesn't make sense to some of you. But trust me, he's trying to take control of the club. He's trying to build the club in his image and trying to instill his values. Because let me tell you something. The personality of a manager, it kind of trickles down to the players. You look at Klopp when he first came to Liverpool. He came with that energy, you know, that fist bump thing. You look at the way Liverpool were playing, man. Liverpool were playing that, you know, that heavy metal that you were talking about. You know, I'm not saying like the two, but you understand what I'm trying to say with character or the personality of the manager kind of trickles down. And it seems like some of the players that we have at United, bruh, they're old dogs. We can't teach them new tricks. They just need to bounce, you know? So man, that's where I'm at. I'm worried about our club. We can't seem to catch a break. Always in headlines. 1 minute is the Glazers. Next minute is the share prices have plummeted because now we don't know whether the club is going to be sold or not.
Exactly.
And you know,
it's all just speculation.
And then all these other issues. I wish the club would just come out with very definitive statements that's allow us to understand. So this is where, and they need to mean what they say, not let us read in between the lines, because we are tired of reading in between the lines. We've been doing 100%. That for years. Like the manager will say this, then we'll be like, oh my God, what does he mean by that? Then we try to break it down. Then you realize that there's an issue. Some fans they don't pay attention to that. You know, it's just something that happens and it's like, okay. No, United will fix it. Nah, let's engage and let's try and solve this thing. They will not fix it. The Glazers, they will not. They will not.
Yeah, no, true.
But yeah, man, I don't know if there's anything else you wanted to add. I have one little thing that I want to share.
All right.
It's this. I just want to talk to the fans or the people that were encouraging the David De Gea sale. Because, I mean, I don't think we really touched into this, and I'm not going to dive too much into it. I'm just going to speed through it. But
all right,
we were crying out for a new goalkeeper. We wanted this. People say, hey, we need this goalkeeper that can play with his legs. What? Fine. We've gotten the goalkeeper that you want. And there's no way I'm not gonna sit here and say that Onana is a bad goalkeeper. Nah, when you look at him, you can. He's a very good keeper. He's up there with the very best. He's just not David De Gea.
Yeah,
he's just not David De Gea. You look at the way Onana plays, man. That guy honestly thinks he's a football player. That guy thinks he's a center back with gloves.
Yeah,
on a snowy day, like those big, like bro. David De Gea just stuck to his thing of being a goalkeeper. And, you know, I don't know if you've noticed this. People have been talking about they like how goalkeepers use their feet, passing and stuff.
Yeah.
But people are forgetting that David De Gea kind of pioneered that blocking with his feet. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like he was, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong. I could be wrong. But then I think we saw that using the feet a lot from David De Gea, blocking those.
Yeah.
And we go back to that Arsenal game where he like broke the record of the saves. That was the time when he was deploying all these things, and then people started getting accustomed to it. So people are like, nah, this. Now we've brought Onana in, and the stats between the two goalkeepers in their first 4 games, bruh, you can't believe. Day and night to some of the
things.
So
hit us with the numbers.
Okay, so for the first 4 games, David De Gea and Onana, the goals conceded. David De Gea conceded 2 goals in his first 4 games for United, and Onana, he's already let in 7. He has already in CR7 already. Like he has brought back CR7 to the club. CR7. Can you imagine? All right, that's cool. We can blame other things on that because the team looks unfit, blah blah blah. Cool. Then they talk about clean sheets. David De Gea had 2 clean sheets in his first 4 games. Onana has 1. And that one was by default because it could have been worse. You know what I mean? And then the passes with the ball, like kicking, clearances, like distribution with the ball, Onana using their feet. Onana has got like 104 and David De Gea has got 68. And then the save percentage for David De Gea is 85 or 68. And Onana, it is 75. So the things that we wanted Onana to do,
they're not paying off.
They're not paying off. He's excelling in the things we expected him to excel in.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? But then what we brought him in to do, his primary job, so far is not looking good. I'm not going to sit here and start saying that no, chase Onana. Now, Onana is a very good guy. He looks like he's a humble player. He looks like he's got his head screwed in straight. He looks like a very top guy. I like him. But I'm just trying to highlight that this is what you wanted. Fans, we all push for things. Like we push, hey, let's change the play. Let's do this thing. Instead of you don't appreciate what you have. I'm not saying that we need to appreciate everything that we have here at United. Nah, there's some garbage that needs to be taken. That needs to be taken out. But for certain players, we need to stand behind them. And, it's funny because I don't know where I read it, or I think I read somewhere, and there was this sort of rumor of like maybe United should think of bringing David De Gea back to be Onana's number 2, and I was like, what? And wait,
to be Onana's number 2?
To be Onana's number 2? Are you mad,
dude?
Like, how dare you disrespect David De Gea like that? Nah. You let him go. Let David De Gea make his own decisions about where he wants to go and let him do his own thing. But yeah, man, that's just a little bit I wanted to point out. I think that's a wrap to our show today, D. I don't know if there's anything else you wanted to add.
Nah, I think you've said it all. I think maybe just on the last point that you made, it's so funny how David De Gea, how we were calling for his neck. Because our standards were so high,
bro.
And this is a conversation I had with my youngster a couple of years ago, and I'm like, United have become so mediocre that we're actually like giving excuses to mediocre players. We're actually backing up mediocre players. Like we're now starting to. It's like no, we'll just start Fred, we'll just start McTominay. They're good. Like they're not good. They're not good enough. Like gone are the days when like I'm saying, we used to bring like David De Gea to like to the bonfire. Like we're going to torch you, fam. You know what I mean? And nowadays we're just so accepting of just like mediocreness, like we talk with apologies like, oh, I'm not trying to take shots at Onana, but like back then we were just taking firing shots. You understand what I'm saying?
David
and
De
it's
Gea
like
got
now
the full blunt of it.
It feels so exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like David De Gea got the full. You know what? Like no one went easy on him after Van der Sar. He never had an easy time getting it. Even after his first second, I remember after his like first or second season, I remember I wrote this long ass thing on Facebook. It was like, dear De Gea, bruh. I went in. I gave all the reasons why he must leave the club. I didn't want him. Dude, that's how high our standards were. You know what I mean? And they've plummeted. We're now giving these players excuses to be at the club. You understand what I'm saying? These players are not good enough. Gone are the days when we were not shy to express, our standards. And nowadays we have completely dropped our standards and we're giving excuses for these standards. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Back in the day, we had with Anderson, who used to eat bench. Do you understand what I'm saying? You find that Anderson's stats are equivalent to Sancho's stats. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But we're saying Sancho should start. We never used to give Anderson the reason to start. No, let Anderson start. That 4 goals and 3 assists last season. What's that? What's 4 goals and 3 assists? Get out.
Gained weight.
You know what I mean?
Go and lose weight, bastard.
Go and lose weight. Do you understand what I mean, fam?
Yeah.
Like, there's no leniency. We're a top club. We're playing top football. We want to give you no excuses. If you're not going to reach the standards, you're going to be axed. You understand what I'm saying? And like you said, man, trust Ten Hag. He's coming in with that type of energy, and he's saying, "I don't want this mediocre. This mediocre has been used to for years. I don't want it. I don't want this thing of no. I've been in training. Wait. No, you know what I mean. I want here. If you're not here, out. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna tolerate it. So even with Onana, yes, we don't want to take shots, but he needs to start doing the business. You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm also going to be at his throat saying,
bro,
like, what's this? What is this? We bought you to stop goals, not to kick balls. Anyone can kick a ball. I can go kick a ball. You understand what I'm saying? Your primary job, number 1, numero uno, is to stop the opposition from scoring, not for making an assist. Do you understand what I'm saying, fam? Numero uno, goalkeeper. Nothing else comes above that. And that should just be, engraved in his head. I don't want this next match. He can do whatever he's doing. It's fine, But at the end of the day, if goals are going to be slipped,
that's a problem.
We'll be like, bring that contract. Bring that contract back. You thought you want to come here and it's going to be like smooth sailing. No. Everyone needs to be held accountable.
I have been, the thing is, I like him. I think he's a very instinctive goalkeeper.
100%.
He has got a very good leap. When he grabs the ball, he grabs it. It's not like one of those fumbling things where you're kind of snap. He's got all the good qualities. It's just those things that we just don't want. There's just we don't know how else we can explain it, but they're just certain things we just don't want. Don't do them.
Exactly.
Don't put us in a situation where we're gonna start questioning you and then coming at you, and then now because we're all coming at you, then your performance comes down because we're now in your head. Dude. Nah, just do your thing, but
and all will be well. Huh? This mafia mentality, fam. This mafia mentality.
I like what you said, where you're like, he's changing everything because just like even these CEOs, these big companies, when they're dealing with their workers, there's this theory of picking A team players, not B team, C team, because the A team players are always going to bring their A game. And that A game always elevates everyone around them.
Everybody. Exactly.
So if you have a B player with the A team group, that B player by himself is going to drop the standards.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
100%, man.
Fuck. Oh man. All right, now, man. Thank you everybody for listening to this episode. It was a very chilled out one. This was just us having a chat. It was just one of those things where we're like, yo, D, let's give it to them just raw. We didn't prepare.
Yeah.
But
laid back.
This is how we started, me and D, having conversations like this. And then we came up with the idea of like, you know what? Since we are doing this all the time, we might as well have this. So this is one of those conversations that we normally have on a day-to-day basis, but we just wanted to bring it down for you guys so you guys can hear it. Pastor D,
100%.
take it away, my man.
Yeah, thank you again for listening to the podcast episode today. You can find us on all your favorite podcasting listening platforms, on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, Zencaster, Amazon Music, all your favorite podcasting listening platforms. Catch us everywhere. You can also find us on our website. Go subscribe, like, share with the community. You can go join our Facebook group and our WhatsApp group. And you can also join our fantasy league. Link is going to be on our website. Link for the website is going to be in the podcast description. You can find it here below. Yeah, that's it. It's a wrap.
All right. Now, thank you, everybody. Thank you for listening.
Peace.